Hello, and welcome to the lecture for Chapter 1. The beginning of Chapter 1 introduces us to the busy lifestyle that having a career in PR entails. Having a wide variety of skills that include writing, reading, listening, being organized, time management, and strong interpersonal abilities are just some of the things a PR professional needs to do well. As we begin this lecture about the chapter, I want to draw your attention to page 27 in the textbook. Page 27 offers a good checklist that you can do on your own time. The checklist outlines key characteristics a PR professional needs in order to excel in the field. I encourage you to fill out the checklist to see where you stand. If the checklist suggests you have what it takes to excel, great. If not, don't worry. Now you should have a better idea of what you need to be a good PR professional, and now you know that there are things you can work on in the future. Today I have a few slides with key concepts and terms from the chapter that I want to go over. While all of the reading in the textbook is important, these slides will highlight what I feel are the concepts that you should definitely know. Let's begin by going over what the key characteristics of public relations are. Chapter 1 outlines 4 key characteristics of the PR field. The first key characteristic is that it is multifaceted. And what this means is that PR professionals now have to have several skills upon entering the field. They have to know how to use various computer programs, have strong writing skills, and be adept at social media. No longer can you be good at just one skill, such as writing, to be good in PR, but now you have to be skilled in several areas to excel. The second key characteristic of the field is that it is a growing field. It is estimated that there are 3 million people worldwide that practice PR as their main job, and this includes 320,000 practitioners in the United States. There is also a projected 23% growth rate in PR specialists through the year 2020, a rate higher than the average for all other occupations. The third characteristic is the globalization of PR, specifically in Asia. China in particular is known as the new frontier. China is the world's second leading economy, and the PR industry is increasing at a 20% rate annually in the country. There are other nations in Asia that are expanding as well, and these include Malaysia, Korea, Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, and India. The fourth characteristic is that there is a large academic program enrollment, both in the United States and internationally. U.S. colleges and universities offer bachelor's and master's degrees in PR, and students can find PR classes in communication, business, and journalism departments. Internationally, universities also are increasing their offerings in PR studies, and it has become a well-established academic subject. Scholars over the years have come up with literally hundreds of definitions for the term public relations. The textbook offers one particularly strong definition that we'll use as our definition throughout the term. That definition of PR is a communication function of management through which organizations adapt to, alter, or maintain their environment for the purpose of achieving organizational goals. This definition is strong because it emphasizes open, two-way communication and mutual understanding between an organization and its publics. While I encourage you to memorize this definition, the textbook also offers key terms that will help you understand and define what the profession does. We will discuss this on the next slide. There are 6 key terms the textbook offers in order to understand what public relations is. The first is that PR is deliberate. And what we mean by this is that PR activity is intentional. It is designed to influence people. It is also meant to gain an understanding with publics, provide information, and obtain feedback from those affected by PR activity. The second key term is that PR is planned. PR activity is organized, researched, and analyzed. There's a lot of time and planning that is put into PR campaigns. The third key term is performance. PR activity is based on actual policies of an organization, and practitioners must be responsive to public concerns within those organizational policies. The fourth key term is public interest. PR activities should be mutually beneficial to the organization and to the publics that they serve. Oftentimes, organizations have people known as shareholders, or people who devote a lot of money to an organization. PR professionals must make sure that they balance the needs of the shareholders with the needs of the public at large. The next term is two-way communication. PR is not just about disseminating information, but it is about listening and engaging in conversations with various publics. And the last key term is management function. PR needs to be strategic, and it needs to be part of the decision-making by top management. All people within an organization need to be involved with PR at all times. It is important to know that PR is sometimes not even referred to as public relations. As the field has grown and changed, other terms have come into play to describe PR within a corporation. Some of those terms include corporate communications, communications and public policy, public affairs and corporate communication, or public information or even public affairs, which can include nonprofits, universities, and government agencies. Sometimes there are negative perceptions of what PR is, so oftentimes we hear terms such as spin, fluff, or propaganda. PR professionals today who take their jobs seriously and who are ethical members of the field should stay away from using terms such as these. The textbook offers two popular approaches in how to explain public relations. The first approach is to explain PR as a process. Within this, PR consists of four elements using the acronym RACE. R for research, A for action, C for communication, and E for evaluation. R, research, asks, what is the problem? A, action, asks the question, what is going to be done about the problem? C, communication, asks, how will the public be told? And E, evaluation, asks the important question, was the audience reached and what was the effect? The second approach looks at PR as an ongoing cycle. Pages 14 to 15 of the textbook offer a visual illustration of what this looks like. The cycle begins with research and analysis, moves to policy formulation, moves to programming, then to communication, and then it goes to feedback. Once feedback is obtained from the public, the cycle then goes to assessment. Assessment brings us all the way back to the beginning, which is the research and analysis segment of the cycle. The assessment function can be used on the same campaign if changes need to be made to make the campaign more effective, or the assessment can be used on new campaigns that are undergoing research and analysis to improve new campaigns based off of past experiences. PR functions two ways in this process. First, PR interacts directly with external sources of information, including the public, media, and government, and relays the information to management along with recommendations. And second, PR becomes the vehicle through which management reaches the public with assorted messages. As you begin to learn what public relations is, it is important to learn what it is not. The textbook does a good job of differentiating public relations from the fields of journalism, advertising, and marketing. We'll begin by looking at the differences between PR and journalism. Although both of these professions involve writing, there are four ways PR and journalism differ. The first is the scope. PR professionals have to be more multidimensional, while journalism involves just media relations and writing. The objectives of the two fields differ as well. While journalists gather information to inform their audience, PR professionals do the same thing, but they gather information in order to persuade. Journalism tends to be more neutral, while PR tends to be persuasive. The third difference is the audience. Journalists write for a mass audience, while PR professionals write for carefully selected publics or audiences. And finally, the channels differ for both of these fields. Journalists usually use one channel to disseminate their information, usually through the newspaper or website that he or she works for, while PR professionals use a combination of media outlets to disseminate information. They can use a variety of podcasts, blogs, magazines, newspapers, or even trade journals to communicate their message. PR is also different from advertising. While both use mass media in order to disseminate information of messages, the format and context differ between the two. Within PR, material is prepared by PR professionals, and that material appears as a news item or feature story in the mass media or online. Advertising, however, tends to be a paid space and is directed towards consumers of goods and services. There is more of a consumer and exchange of goods associated with advertising, while PR cares more about the relationships or communication of messages. And finally, the textbook differentiates between PR and marketing. These two areas are very different, but they do have some areas that can overlap. A broad understanding of the two is that marketing focuses on business exchanges, while PR focuses on relationships with publics. The textbook offers 4 clear differences between the two. The first is the objectives. Marketing wants to sell products, while PR wants to create relationships. The second is the audience. The primary audiences for marketing are consumers and customers, while PR focuses with a broader array of audiences. The third is competition versus opposition. Marketing tends to focus on competitive solutions. They ask questions such as, can we drop the price? Or can we improve the packaging? While PR tends to focus on the opposition to a product. For example, no one will buy a Toyota no matter what price they sell it at if consumers don't trust the brakes. A PR professional would look at how to restore confidence in the Toyota product. And finally, role in management. Marketing deals with the position of a product in the market and the sale of that product, while PR deals with all departments to advance the business goals and objectives of an organization. Although there are differences between PR, journalism, advertising, and marketing, companies today are taking a more integrated approach to combine the areas. Many companies do not always differentiate between what each of these areas does, but you need to know how PR differs, so if you plan a profession in the field, you can separate your skills, but also use them to add to what the marketing, advertising, and journalism departments are doing. This integrated approach has also given rise to a new term used frequently in the field and in business, Integrated Marketing Communications, or IMC. Combining the strategic roles of various communication areas helps provide clarity, consistency, and maximum communication impact. The end of Chapter 1 offers essential career skills for PR. These skills are important to know so you can improve on them or strengthen them over the next few years. The first is writing, and second, you need to have strong research abilities. You also need planning expertise, problem-solving abilities, business and economics competence, and finally, expertise in social media. Having these essential career skills will help ensure a successful future for you in the field. In our society, companies and individuals need sensitive communicators and facilitators who can interact with publics in a socially responsible manner. Relationships will always be critically needed as they fulfill a basic human desire of interaction. Public relations professionals should always strive to create and maintain relationships with their publics for the best of everyone involved. Today we talked about characteristics of the field, definitions of PR, how PR is a process, and how it differs from journalism, marketing, and advertising. I hope this beginning chapter starts to provide a foundation of what the field is and gets you excited to find out a little bit more about the history of the field. The history of PR is what we will discuss in the next lecture.